everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. I am your host, Andrew Rogers, and great to be back with you guys once again for another exciting episode. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty of it. There's only 2 more weekends in the WOSHL regular season before our playoffs start. First round goes best of 5, second round. Final 4 goes best of 7, and then we have our WOSHL finals, which is also a best of 7. It's quite a man. There are a lot of movers and shakers going on, that's for sure, and they're creating a lot of buzz amongst as we do have our final 8 teams that will be competing in the WOSHL playoffs this year for the WOSHL championship, and it should be a lot of fun, guys. We're just getting down to it, but yeah, we got a great episode for you guys. Coming up, we're going to get, we have some video highlights, not a lot of video highlights though, however, massive streaming issues this past weekend. So apologies in advance for that. There's a couple of highlights from the Strathroy Jets, Stratford Fighting Irish game on Friday. 509 Sports Online covered the Stratford Tilbury game in Stratford this past Saturday. So they have highlights of that. And then I put a highlight pack together for the Tillsonburg Erin game. That took place at Center 2000, so that one went off without a hitch. However, our other 3 games, which included Laura at Delhi, Plattsville hosting Tillsonburg, and we also had Alvinston going to Nordell Arena in Norwich to play that game against the Delhi Flames. Unfortunately for the Delhi Flames, it was their elimination game as they were eliminated from playoff contention, or at least the opportunity to clinch a playoff spot fell by the wayside as they are now too many points behind with too few games left remaining. So, like I say, we have our 8 and that will be competing. It's just a matter of figuring out where they will end up. A lot of games left for some teams, not so many for other teams. So we'll see how that ends up. But like I said, before we get into any of that stuff, we want to also give you guys an idea here. So on our podcast this week, our guest is Andre Waugh of the Erin Blitz, the newest netminder over there. Played his first game this season with the Erin Blitz this past weekend against his former team, the Tillsonburg Thunder, which he suited up for 7 games last year for the Tillsonburg Thunder, who of course went to the finals against the Laura Rocks and lost in the WOSHL championships last year. Looking to get back there, obviously. And so guys, without further ado, our weekend wrap. We start things off at the Gemini Sportsplex in Strathroy, where the hometown Strathroy Jets iced their 11-10-0 record with a firm grip on 5th place in the WOSHL standings, hosting the 17-3-0 second place Stratford Fighting Irish. Irish coming into the game 1 point behind the Tilbury Bluebirds for first. After Greg Milner's 5th of the season, 3:45 into the frame makes it 1-0 Jets. The Irish get a golden opportunity to tie the game, but it's Jets sensation Josh Diamond coming across to make the highlight reel save, keeping this game at a 1-0 Jets score. Irish still trailing by 1, this time operating on the power play. Some slick passing from the Irish here, and it's on and off of the stick of Cooper Leach, but he fires it over the net of Diamond, and it remains 1-0 Jets. Second period now, after a Dane Johnstone late goal in the first gives the Jets a 2-0 lead. Irish catching a break here on the man advantage, a 2-on-1, and it's going to be Stephen DeGroot letting the shot go. He beats Diamond for his 12th of the season. It's 2-1 Jets. Jets get that one back. Less than 5 minutes to play in the frame. Jets shorthanded get a 2-on-1 break of their own. Greg Milner's going to pop the water bottle in behind Irish netminder Zach Weir. That's Milner's 2nd of the game, 6th of the season. That makes it 3-1 Jets heading into the 3rd. In the 3rd period, now late in the frame with the Irish net empty, puck is going to come to number 16, Kobe Ferreira. He ices the game with the empty netter. That's his 1st of the seaseason, stretching the lead to 4-1, and that's how this one finishes. Jets' record improves to 12-10, while the Irish fail to make up their game in hand as they fall to 17-4-0 on the season with the loss. Final score in this one, 4-1 Strathroy.
It's a battle for top spot in our Western Ontario Super Hockey League Game of the Week. The Tilbury Bluebirds starting the day 1 point ahead of Stratford for first place. The Birds and Irish meeting on Saturday afternoon at the Almond, and it's a good start for the visitors. Just over 2 minutes in, Adam Hughes in front opens the scoring. That's his fourth marker of the year. The Birds up 1-0. Back come the Irish. They have an odd man rush, but how about this stop from Ryan Polidori? He robs Dylan Buckholtz on the doorstep. Huge save there, and it stays 1-0. But a few minutes later, Stratford breaking through. The feed for Cooper Leach, and he ties the game. Leach puts it in. We are knotted at 1. Still in the first, this is Mitchell Van Teeling coming in, and he sets up Jeff Burridge for the goal. Nice feed and a good finish. It's 2-1 Tilbury after the first. Second period, more Birds offense. Tyler Lawrence spins and fires. Adam Hughes gets the rebound and scores. That's his second goal of the day. Hughes makes it 3-1. A few minutes later, here come the Irish. Matt Granger is at the near point. He rips it and scores. Granger makes it a 1-goal game, and 2 minutes after that, it's Granger with the equalizer. He's got a pair, and we've got a new game. It's 3-3. Later in the second, look out. Warren Gorman chases down the loose puck, and he's got a shorty. Big goal, Gorman. Stratford is up 4-3, and it was a huge middle period for the Fighting Irish. This is Cooper Leach with a terrific effort. He battles his way through and puts it in. Leach with another short-handed marker. He makes it 5-3 Stratford, and they get another one before the period is over. Cooper Leach with a sweet feed to Brody Smith. He's got a wide open net. It's 6-3 Irish after 2, and the third period starts with a scrap. That's Erin Wybinga for the Birds and Warren Gorman for the Irish. A little later, more fisticuffs. This time it's Tyler Ryan from Tilbury and Maverick Petrie from Stratford. Tempers boiling over in the third period. Late stages of regulation, the Birds make things interesting. They would score 2 late goals. Mitch Van Teeling scores on this play, but the Birds would come up short. The Irish hang on for the victory. They take over first place after a big win on Saturday. 6-5 is the final.
Next up, we are at Center 2000 in the town of Erin as the 5-12-2 Erin Blitz, who are heating up as the season winds down, host the 14-5-0 Tillsonburg Thunder. Pick things up just over 4 minutes into the first period. Erin gets on the board. It's Jacob Colson over to Liam Galton. He fires in his 7th of the season past Matt Sagrad of the Thunder. It's 1-0 Blitz. Halfway point in the frame, Blitz looking for more, but they turn the puck over. The Thunder bringing it the other way. Scramble play in the crease is going to be banged home by Chris McGuffin, his 13th of the season past former Thunder goalie Andre Waugh, making his WOSHL season debut. We're tied at 1. Minute and a half remaining as the Thunder catch a break. Shot is going to take a wicked bounce off the end boards right onto the tape of Jacob Brown. His 2nd of the season is a tap-in, 2-1 Thunder heading into the intermission. Second period on the fresh ice, Blitz into the zone looking to tie things up. They are denied by the strong glove hand of Matt Sagrad here. A few moments later, Blitz with all kinds of pressure, hemming the Thunder in their own zone. Sagrad's holding strong, but unfortunately he can't stop them all. Lucas Schott is going to bang in the rebound here for his 5th of the season. Blitz tie the game at 2. Just over 30 seconds later, Blitz are going to retake their 1-goal lead, courtesy this time of Mike Cree. His shot fooling Sagrad from the line. Blitz lead is now 3-2. Blitz looking for more 8 minutes into the second period. It's a mad scramble in the Thunder zone. Puck will eventually find its way onto the stick of Chris Pareje. His 8th of the season puts the Blitz up by 2. 5 minutes later, Thunder looking to respond. Loose puck in the slot, and it's going to be Kane Geldart spinning and shooting. His shot gets past the flustered Andre Waugh. Geldart's 7th of the season makes it 4-3 Blitz. 2 minutes later, Blitz looking to restore their 2-goal lead, and they get a lucky here. Mike Cree's shot from way downtown gets past Segrat. Blitz lead 5-3 heading into the third. 9 minutes into the third period, it's a Blitz breakaway. Jordan Tutt is going to score here. His 2nd of the season stretches the Blitz lead to 3. It's 6-3. Thunder trying to make a comeback here. Jamie McQueen is going to start the rush. His shot in on Andre Waugh, but he makes the save with the big pad save there. Late in the game, Blitz putting on the final touches here. 2-on-1 for Erin, and Jacob Miller is going to put home his 20th of the season. 7-3 Blitz at this point. Blitz not done there. 30 seconds later, off the face-off win, Sean Caruso is going to find the back of the net. Caps off the scoring on this night. 8-3 Blitz is the score. Late in the contest, tensions boiling over here. After the whistle, Mitch Rossett of Tilsonburg and James Maunder of the Erin Blitz dropped the mitts. Good tilt there, and that would put a cap on this night. Erin with the big victory in this one. Final score 8-3. Erin improves to 6-12-2 with the win, while the Thunder fall to 14-6-0. No video highlights here as we have the Elora Rocks down in the Delhi Flames 14-2 this past Saturday. The Elora Rocks improving their record to 17-4-2 with the victory, while the Delhi Flames fall to 2-18-1. Scoring goals for the Delhi Flames, number 4, Mike Stolar, and number 26, Clay Donnelly, scoring for Delhi. Well, on the Elora Rock side, big performance there from number 18, Luke Holzer. 4 goals and an assist, 5-point night for him. Absolutely unreal. Chad Heron continues to turn heads this year in the WOSHL. 2 goals, 2 assists for him. He has had an unbelievable season, and it looks to continue that way as we stretch towards the playoffs here. Brendan Woods, a goal and 2 assists. Andrew Brubaker with 3 helpers. Danny Heath with a goal and an assist as well. Alex Utley, 3 goals and 2 assists for 5 points for him. In goal, Colin Dunn with the victory, 23 of 25 in the net. His record improves to 13-3-1. Over on the Delhi side, Cody Odvashar started the game, was lifted in the second period for Richard Little, was back in the game later on. Cody gets the loss in this one, 2-8-1 on the season for him. Like mentioned, Richard Little was in the net. He stopped 8 of 11 in relief before being yanked again for Cody Odvashar. But yeah, final score in this one, guys, 14-2. Elora Rocks defeat the Delhi Flames. Yeah, we had some real streaming issues that ruined some perfectly good hockey. And unfortunately, in this game, the same could be said. 9-7 victory for the Tilsonburg Thunder as they defeat the Plattsville Lakers from the Plattsville Arena this past Sunday. Tilsonburg improving their record to 15-6-0 with the win, while the Plattsville Lakers fall to 6-16-1. For Tilsonburg, they get big performances from Chris Knotts, who scores 2 in the game, as well as Jordan Kobayashi, who scores 2. Braden Roberts, a 3-point night, goal and 2 assists for him. Jesse Raymond getting the start in this one for Tilsonburg, stopping 31 of 38. He gets the victory, back in the win column for him. He is 5-2 on the season. But yeah, single goals from Curtis Christo, Jamie McQueen, Mitch Green, and Matt Weston in the victory for Tilsonburg. Plattsville putting up 7 and not enough on this particular occasion. Hunter Dubecki, 3 assists. Billy Dessen, shout out to you, bud. We would have liked to have gotten a highlight of your goal, but unfortunately it was not to be. But congratulations on your goal in the game. Sean Mackey with a goal, Bradley Watson a goal, and Noah Hippolyte Smith with a goal, number 74 of Plattsville. Also want to give a shout out to Kevin Hugh. 3 goals, 1 assist for him. He's up to 45 points. He has 30 goals on the season. This year in WOSHL, just unbelievable performance from him this season. It's great to see. Frank Bull gets the loss for the Plattsville Lakers. 35 of 44 shots. His record now stands at 1-2-1. So for the Tillsonburg Thunder, 9-7 victory over the Plattsville Lakers. Our final game of the weekend took place at the Nordell Arena in Norwich. The Delhi Flames hosting the Alvinston Killer Bees. For Delhi, it was a last-ditch effort. With the win, they would have stayed mathematically alive in the WOSHL playoff hunt. However, unfortunately, they fall to the Alvinston Killer Bees by a 7-5 score, pretty much ending their season. They do have a few games left, but they will not take place in the WOSHL playoffs, or they will not take a spot in the WOSHL playoffs this year. It's been a trying season for them, but just wasn't meant to be. However, Alvinston, a big victory for them as they clinch a playoff spot, the final playoff spot in the WOSHL standings. Like I said, 7-5 is the score in this one. For the Delhi Flames, Mike Stolar with a goal and 2 assists. Wade Metz with 2 goals on the night. Kyle Vigar, 2 goals for him in the loss for the Delhi Flames. Like I say, their record falling to 2-19-1, but they cannot make up enough ground in the WOSHL standings to make the playoffs. Cody Odvishar gets the loss. 2-9-1 is his record on the season, stopping 37 of 44 in the loss. For the Alvinston Killer Bees, let's start with Spencer Robertson. It's been a trying year for Spencer. He was 0-6 coming into the contest, but is able to get his first win in WOSHL, and it's been a great story for those of you who are in the know. If you know, you know. Spencer Robertson with his first victory of the year, 1-6 now, 38 of 43 in the victory for the Killer Bees. And again, would have been nice to have the video highlights from this one for Spencer, but unfortunately, we don't have those available. In the game for Alvinston, Kair Cumming with a big night, 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists for him. Brandon Ritchie also a 4-point night, a goal and 3 helpers. Dawson Winchester, Kane Johnson, Carter Wright, Matt Stevens scoring singles for the Killer Bees in the victory. So like I say, Alvinston improving to 6-16-1, Delhi falling to 2-19-1. Final score 7-5, Alvinston over Delhi from the Nordell Arena in Norwich, Ontario. Yeah, so guys, from that, we jump right into our standings update. As you guys can see here, we have our top 8 teams that have clinched playoff spots now. Delhi just too many points behind with too few games, as they are down to only 2 games remaining, and they only have 5 points on the year. It's been a struggle for them this season, and obviously back to the drawing board for them in terms of year 2 and for them and year 3 of the WOSHL. But we'll see what they have in store. Maybe they could play spoiler in these last couple games that they have to try and mess with where the standings will take us. But as you guys can see here, you have Stratford and Elora in the top spot there, both teams with 36 points apiece. However, Stratford's played 1 fewer game than Elora, and they have the higher win percentage, so they get the top seed. Tilbury has fallen to the number 3 seed as their loss against Stratford puts them at 35. Tillsonburg with 30, 15-6. Strathroy Jets 12-10. They have 24 points. They are 10 better than the Erin Blitz, who have 4 games remaining and are 6-12-2. 6th seed for them is essentially theirs to lose, considering that both Plattsville and Alvinston have 1 game remaining each. So if they do happen to win those remaining 1 games that they do have, the highest that they could finish in terms of point total would be 15. The Erin Blitz would then need a single point or more to go above them both, with, like I said, 4 games left on their schedule. So yeah, you have Plattsville 6-16-1, Alvinston also at 6-16-1. So we'll have to wait and see how that ends up in terms of the tiebreaker there to finish. See who finishes in 7th and 8th. But right now it is Plattsville over Alvinston as they split the season series. So I think it will come down to head-to-head goals against that sort of thing. So we'll have to wait and see how that splits out. But like I say, for now, that is how things look. If you also want to look here, we take a look now at the team's remaining schedule. So Delhi down at the bottom, they have the Thunder and the Blitz to finish out their season. Plattsville. It's funny. Plattsville and Alvinston, 1 game remaining, both of them against the Erin Blitz, which is so funny because that's the team they're chasing. Erin, games against the Thunder, Plattsville, Alvinston, and Delhi to finish. So that Delhi game actually could be big for the Erin Blitz in terms of where they finish in the seeding here. As we've always mentioned for the last few podcasts here, Strathroy Jets cannot move from 5th. They are going to finish in 5th no matter what. They're going to be on the road for the first round, best of 5. Whether or not or who they face, that's up in the air as well, but it's looking more and more like Tillsonburg. Tillsonburg, with 3 games remaining, can finish as high as 36 points on the year. So question is whether or not, if Tilbury can knock off Strathroy, I believe it's out of reach at that point for Tillsonburg. But Tillsonburg needs to win in Elora. That is like if they lose to the Elora Rocks, then they would finish 4th and no higher. Or no lower for that matter. So Tillsonburg Strathroy right now would be the first round matchup. Tilbury Erin would be the other matchup, 3 and 6. Elora and Plattsville 2 and 7, and Stratford Alvinston 1 versus 8, which would be an unbelievable matchup. As you guys can see here by our playoff bracket, as if the playoffs were to start today. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think in terms of which matchup will be the most juiciest? To be honest, that Tillsonburg Strathroy Jets series freaks me out. Strathroy is a tough out, and I think that would probably be your best series. Although I would give a close second to Stratford Alvinston. Boy, watching those two teams go up against each other, even in a 7-game, let alone a 5, would be just an unbelievable hockey. Final board before we get to our schedule for this upcoming weekend is our leading scoring update here. Denemy still leads from Tilbury with 50 points. His teammate Chagrinsev with 45. Chad Heron, a big weekend for the Elora Rocks, is pulled even with Chagrinsev with 45 points. Kevin Hugh with an assist, with a hat trick and an assist. He's up to 30 goals on the season now. He has 43 points. Travis Winkworth and Jamie McQueen of Tillsonburg, both with 38 apiece. Captain Ray Robbins of the Stratford Fighting Irish with 36, Graham Brulot with 35, Zach Cameron with 17 and 17 is 34, and Hunter Dubecki of Plattsville with a big showing against the Thunder on Sunday. He now has 34. But yeah, guys, from there, we turn our attention to our schedule for this upcoming weekend, and there are a lot of juicy matchups on the schedule. We start on Friday. We have the Stratford Fighting Irish and the Strathroy Jets. Jets defeating the Irish 4-1 this past weekend. So it's a return matchup in the Gemini Sportsplex. That one goes at 7:30. Big game for both teams, Irish in particular, because they want to keep stranglehold on that number 1 spot. At 8:30 on Friday, we have our Tillsonburg Thunder traveling to Elora to take on the Rocks. This is a matchup that was supposed to take place on December 23rd, but was rescheduled to Friday, February the 17th. So 8:30 at the Elora District Community Center. It was also the Elora Rocks last game, and the Thunder, they need a big W in this one as their games are running out and points are at a premium. So on Saturday, we have 2 more games on the schedule. Strathroy Jets into Tilbury to take on the Bluebirds, 7:30 in that one. And then in Tillsonburg, the Erin Blitz, coming off their big upset victory over the Tillsonburg Thunder, will travel to Tillsonburg to take on those Thunder for 7:30 at the Tillsonburg Community Center for that one. The final day of the weekend is Sunday, February 19th, and we have a doubleheader there. Erin Blitz traveling to Plattsville to take on the Lakers. That goes at 3:30. It's Plattsville's final game of the season. And then you have the Stratford Fighting Irish and the Tilbury Bluebirds, Sunday, February the 19th at 7 o'clock in Tilbury. And again, that game could come down as who would get the number 1 seed. That's just wild to think about. Crazy stuff from the WOSHL, but a lot of good stuff is happening. Our guest on this edition of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast comes by way of the Erin Blitz, formerly the Tillsonburg Thunder. Goaltender number 31, Andre Waugh, the Erin Blitz, and here's his interview. All right, folks, here on the podcast, we welcome in our guest on this week's edition of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, goaltender for the Erin Blitz, Andre Waugh. Andre, it's great to have you on here, pal. Thank you very much for taking time out and doing this for us, and welcome.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Andrew. I appreciate it, and thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Like I say, I wanted to make sure to have you on. Last time I was down in Erin for your game against the Delhi Flames, we had a nice conversation there. You didn't start in that game, but you did get the start this past Saturday. A huge statement game for the Erin Blitz, a big 8-3 victory over the Tilsonburg Thunder. You get the start, you get the win against your former team. What was that like for you? Take us through it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of an unbelievable experience and feeling. I came into the team here the last couple of weeks. They were, I guess, getting into a bit of a goalie situation, and the team had reached out to me asking me if I would, want to help them out and come join the team. So I was happy to do so. And yeah, as of late, the Blitz have just been we've been playing so great. Everyone's just been firing on all cylinders. And yeah, the last Saturday specifically, to answer your question, we were playing Tilsonburg, and I got the first start of the year for me, which was huge. And a little bit nervous and getting some of the rust off, but we were able to make out okay. And yeah, it was a tight first period. I think it was 2-1. Tilsonburg was up 2-1 after the first period, and it just looked like it was going to be a hard fought game. And we kind of opened the scoring up a little bit in the second period there. I think we got four goals in the third, or sorry, four goals in the second,
Mhm.
and just kind of blew the doors open a little bit. But yeah, it was nice to play. Just get a game under my belt and get the start. And it was a little bit more special, just the fact that it was Tilsonburg. And yeah, I mean, I can't say enough about the guys. Everybody's been very, very nice and welcoming, and we are just playing so great as a team. And yeah, I mean, it was just a all around great experience and great game for us.
Yeah, absolutely. That had to be so cool. Like it really did. I mean, like obviously there's a lot of underlying storylines. I mean, the fact that you go up against your former team in which you played, I think it was 7 games I saw last year with them. I don't know if that's completely accurate. Maybe you dressed in 7 games, but either
Mhm.
way, to have familiarity against the team that's on the other side of the ice in your first game of the season, no less, and especially coming in, I guess, kind of cold considering like it's been a while since you played a competitive hockey game, correct?
Yeah, I think it had been about a year, maybe a little bit over a year since I had started in a competitive game. Uh, I had been playing in some beer leagues and pickup hockey the last year, so just trying to keep fresh and keep my
Right.
legs going a little bit. But yeah, it was a bit of a challenge just to kind of get going again, and like I said, trying to get some of that rust shaken off, which
Mhm.
we're able to do. And I got one practice in with the guys, so that helped a little bit.
Right.
And yeah, it was kind of one of those bittersweet situations, going up against Tilsonburg, my former team last year.
Mhm.
Had played in a few games, and I think I dressed, in 7 or 10 games, something like that.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I knew a bunch of the guys on the other team, and on one hand, I was looking forward to going up against them, but on kind of on the second hand, it was a little bit uh, kind of nerves going a little bit because saying like, I don't want to, uh, don't want to, make a fool of myself either because
Right.
I hadn't played in a while, and
Sure.
but I was confident in my abilities and confident in the team we have here and the guys ahead of me, and everyone just kind of pulled together and we played just a solid game, and it was also kind of nice because I knew, like I said, I knew some of the guys on the other team, and during the stops and between periods and whatnot, a couple of them had come up to me and just said, "Hey, how's it going? Nice to
Yeah.
see you," kind of thing. So that was good.
Sure.
Nobody was really chirping me, not that I could hear at least anyway. So
Right, right. Hey, it's a competitive game, man. You're gonna get chirping, you're gonna get a little bit of, kick here and there, but I mean, all is fun and war and all at the end of the day. And again, I think all those guys on the other side of that Tilsonburg side would be able to tell you that they're just happy to see you playing. They probably know what a good guy you are, and it's just good to see you back on the ice. And obviously, yeah, you touched on it a little bit. I mean, it had to feel good too for your team in front of you, the new Aaron, like the Aaron Blitz, your new team to come up huge for you in a game. Like you guys, like you said, you surrender that goal late against the Thunder heading into the first intermission. And then the team just takes off in front of you. That had to make your confidence feel pretty good as well for the rest of that game. That those guys in front of you really pulled up their straps and really bought in to get you that W.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from the moment the puck dropped, it was go time and we were all ready to go. We were a little bit shorthanded on the back end, especially, which, you can't use that as an excuse, but we knew we
Sure.
had to play a certain style of game and, not trying to do anything too fancy. We just wanted to keep it simple. And, we had a specific game plan in mind, and we knew it was going to be a hard fought game for sure. So, yeah, that after that first period, it was kind of right where we thought we were going to be. It was a 2-1. It was a pretty tight game. And the boys just all credit to everybody on the team. They stepped up and it was it was a hard fought second period for sure. Like I said,
Right.
I think we scored 4 goals, and then it was I think it was like 5-3 going into the third.
Yeah,
So we
something like
knew,
that.
we had a couple goals. We to start the third. We were just thinking, we got to keep it up, can't let off the gas a little bit, and we were able to get a couple more in to finish it off, which was huge. And I think you know Tilsonburg maybe was getting a little bit frustrated and got a little bit chippy there towards the end,
Right.
but all in all, it was a great game for us. It was a good team effort, like I said, and just so happy and proud of everybody. Everyone really stepped up, and it was just a great game for the whole team.
Absolutely, no question. And like I say, big win for you guys. So obviously, and how it affects the standings as well. Like you guys currently sit in sixth. You're 1 point better than both Alvinston and Plattsville, who sit in seventh and eighth, respectively. Now again, obviously there has to be some scoreboard watching on your guys' part to see kind of where the top teams end up, because that third spot, if you guys do end up finishing sixth, where they lie right now, that could be your guys' spot. I think actually, if I could be so blunt, I think six is your guys' spot to lose, considering you do have 4 games left on the schedule.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we can move up any further from sixth place, given how
No,
many games are left in the point situation. So,
right.
but we got 4 games left, and we kind of control our destiny to a certain point of view. We want to finish the year strong, and
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of getting our legs and getting the momentum going right at the right time here with everybody kind of firing on all cylinders. So
Right.
that's great. Rolling into playoffs, that's exactly what we want and where you want to be. So we want to finish the year strong and win the rest of the 4 games that we have. But yeah, definitely the top 3 or 4 teams, they're really close. I think the top 3, there's like a point
Yeah.
dividing everybody. So, and there's only 1 or 2 games left, depending on the team. So there's
Right.
not that much left. So we're kind of keeping a close eye on everything to see how it all pans out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to come right down to the wire for everybody to see how it shakes up for playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun, and like obviously the big reminder here is that first round is a best of 5, so no room for error there. And then obviously as you get in the second round and then finals, it's best of 7.
Mhm.
Like you said, you guys could really end up facing any of those top 3 teams, anyways. Like I mean, again, the distance between you guys and Strathroy is too high to overcome. And so there's no movement up. But yeah, to fall as far as 8th and then face a potential Stratford, Tilbury, or even Alora, who's right there as well. I guess it really does depend on how things go. You guys can make a big dent in those plans, considering you get a rematch this upcoming Saturday when you go to Tilsonburg to play the Thunder. It's part of a 2-game weekend for you guys because you're also on the road on Sunday against Plattsville. How big are these 2 games in determining how you guys stand? I mean, obviously, yeah, from an outsider's perspective, you could look at it and say, hey, yeah, we need these 2 games, definitely. Any type of win is huge. But you touched on it too. Momentum is everything. If you guys can have a strong going heading into the playoffs, I think that's huge for you guys, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to be going strong and firing on all cylinders right as playoffs start going. You don't want to, have a strong start to the season and then kind of dip towards the end. Obviously, this weekend we've got 2 big games coming up, and there's 4 points on the line, which is huge for us, and we want to grab those points. And we don't want to go down any further than sixth place. Right now, it's kind of our spot to lose,
Right.
and we control our destiny from that standpoint. So definitely we want to, keep it going, and we're on a bit of a roll right now. So we want to keep the momentum moving forward into this weekend and next weekend as well. And so
Right.
that, come playoff time, we're just, we got our legs and we're going on all cylinders, and, we can kind of hit the ground running. And it should be, regardless of who we play, it could be potentially Elora, or maybe Tilsonburg or Tilbury even. Depending on who the opponent is, doesn't matter to us. We want to come out strong, and we have our game plan, and we know how we can play, and we feel pretty confident in any one of those teams.
And I've always kind of maintained this stance on any given team can beat any given team on any given night. If you have it that night, you have it, and you can beat that team. Like there is no, I don't know. It's hard to sometimes find an advantage, but I think obviously home ice is going to be a big one, Andre, because I mean I've seen the crowds at Center 2000, the ballroom as they like to call it, and they're packed and they're rambunctious and they're into the game, and it's great to see. You get that in a lot of buildings in this league, but I find that when it comes to teams traveling, that's where teams kind of will let off the kind of be at a disadvantage because teams really don't travel that well in this league.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those tricky things, with senior hockey, especially, guys got full-time jobs, they got families and different things coming up within their life. So it's sometimes a challenge to get, the full team going on the road sometimes. But yeah, we're confident in our team, and like you touched on, playing at home is huge for us. So home ice advantage is definitely a thing, and you want to grab that advantage as much as you can. And we're just so thankful and appreciative of all the fans coming out to support us. It's a small town, and everybody's been supporting the team and at the arena. We got the kids coming out supporting us, and friends and family and the whole community. It's great. And yeah, I mean, like you said, whether we get the home ice advantage in the playoffs or not, or if we have to travel on the road, it's not really going to change how we're going to play. But obviously, when we're at home and teams are coming into our arena, we want to gain that advantage and use the crowd to help us. And yeah, it's going to be great. Looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like I say, definitely you guys will. It'll be tough to get an advantage in the series, given if you do finish, like I say, sixth place. But again, it's just making sure that those games are on home ice in front of your home fans. Those are the ones you need to win. Those are the ones that are crucial, and they're going to be the difference. One thing that I've noticed about the Erin Blitz and that like throughout the course of the season is the great play of Captain Jeff White. He's been outstanding for you guys as a team. He's put up good points. He's been a rock back there. As a goaltender, obviously you have a front row view to that. Have you had much of an interaction with him? And if you have, what's that relationship been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, Whitey's our captain and our rock back there. He plays a lot of big minutes. He's a veteran presence, and a lot of the guys kind of gravitate around him and listen to him when he's talking in the dressing room. Everyone's quiet and listens to what he has to say. Unfortunately, the game that I had started, he wasn't able to play that game, so I wasn't on the ice with him. But for the other times where I was backing up, just to watch him, how he conducts himself as a professional, both on and off the ice, is just great to watch. And I think it's it's inspiring, and it's good leadership, and so that some of the younger guys coming in can see that as well. Like, this is a professional, this is an older guy, this is how you're supposed to treat people around you, this is how you conduct yourself. And he plays hard, and from a goalie's perspective, I'm a little bit more biased towards the defenseman, obviously. So yeah, it's always a good feeling when you got somebody like that in front of you helping you out, for sure.
Absolutely. And then I want to put another spotlight on another player, and that's Jacob Miller, alternate captain, leads the team in goals. He just scored his 20th on the weekend. He's got such an incredible shot. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him on this podcast. As a guy who's taken his shots in practice and then seen him how he translated into a game, are you surprised, I guess, is the one question. And then the second one, like, what makes him so dangerous? Like, I mean, obviously, yeah, facing a shot in practice, it's like got to be a little bit, deflating, given that he's just got such a good shot.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a great shot, and he's an all-around skilled guy. He skates really well. He's super fast. He's smart with the puck. All those attributes for sure. And it doesn't really surprise me, but he's also super, super nice guy off the ice. And yeah, I mean, he from the offensive point of view, whenever he's got the puck, he's going to be dangerous. and it's fun to watch, just to kind of sit back and, you got that front row seat to watch him, and some of the things that he's able to do with the puck, whether it's, making a great play or shooting it, and watching some of his goals are just amazing. And yeah, in practice, when he's coming down on you, you're like, okay, this is, it's not going to be easy, and
Right.
if it hits you, it might hurt a little bit, but yeah, it kind of gives you that extra motivation to try and stop him. And that's what you want, just
Yeah.
to kind of battle, everybody, and you kind of elevate each other and make each other better. So
Yeah. Well, we also know he's Canadian, so he'd apologize if he did hurt you with a shot or something like that, right? So,
yeah.
and then Andre, I guess my last question for you here. So again, you had last year with Tilsonburg, took some time off. The question I guess I have for you is, what was the biggest motivator to come back? And then maybe if you could just kind of elaborate a little bit on how it came to be with the club owners, because those guys that are at the top of that group over there in Erin are really good people. Timmy Wilson, Jeff Richards, like, just, they're unbelievable people, having spoken with them on a number of occasions. I guess kind of what was the big motivator for you to join the Erin Blitz and then come back to this league?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed my time last year, for the first year in the WOSHL League, and for different reasons, for some personal reasons and things like that, I wasn't able to commit fully at the beginning of the year and start with either Tilsonburg or any team.
Mhm.
So kind of just put that on the back burner a little bit, but was able to stay in contact with some of the folks, and I had reached out to a couple of teams, and a little while ago, Bill Ryan, who's the GM for Tilsonburg, and is
Mhm.
obviously has a big part to play in the league in general.
Right.
He had reached out to me and said, if you want to and are interested, there's maybe a potential to play in Erin with the Blitz. And I said, yeah, I mean, that'd be great. Definitely would jump at that opportunity. And so the GM for the Blitz, Jeff, had reached out to me, and said, we want to have someone to come in. We're looking for another goalie, and I think you might be a good fit. And was just super happy and excited at that opportunity. And yeah, the whole ownership team, the management, coaching staff, trainers, equipment folks, the whole team from top to bottom, the organization is just top notch, and just so happy to be on board. And everybody was super nice and welcoming, and can't say enough positive things about all of them.
Well, that's great to hear, Andre. It's been an absolute pleasure. We've been speaking with Andre Waugh, the goaltender of the Erin Blitz, picked up his first victory of the season this past Saturday in a victory against his former team, the Erin Blitz 8-3 victory over the Tilsonburg Thunder. Erin has a couple games this weekend against the Tilsonburg Thunder on the road, and then on the road against Plattsville on Sunday. Both games can be seen on Sporfy as well. Andre, best of luck, obviously, rest of the way. Best of luck come playoffs, whoever you guys get in the first round. I'm interested to see how you guys do, and we'll catch up the rest of the way. And before season's end, we'll talk a lot for sure. But like I said, best of luck, and all the best to you.
All right, thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it, and appreciate all the things that you do for the podcast and the league in general. So keep up the good work, bud.
Yeah, guys. So once again, we want to thank Andre Waugh for coming on and being our guest on this week's edition of the podcast. I want to thank you guys, the viewer, as always, for watching and continuing to your support of this league and the great people that run it in front of and behind, and the players on the ice that supported them as well, because they are great individuals, and it's a great league to be a part of. And we're getting there. It's almost time for playoffs. Playoffs is when the second season starts, so it should be a lot of fun. And can't wait to see what the matchups are. But stay tuned on this, watching these podcasts to get your latest WOSHL news, and obviously check out WOSHL.com for more information if you need be. But I am Andrew Rogers, the host of the podcast, signing off on this week's edition. And we will see you guys again next week. Until then, drive safe, be good, and be healthy, and take care. All the best, and we'll see you guys again next week.